toddler, my father was a captain in the Merchant Navy. And for up to 4 years of my life, I spent living on large gas carriers and oil tankers. Every 6 months, I would visit my grandparents in India and then continue to travel all to new countries with my parents. I never really had many friends because I would travel so much. But that was okay because I was quite happy in my little bubble. I vividly remember the day in Singapore when I was trying to make conversation with an ostrich when my mother comes up to me and she says, "Friendships are like bubblegum bonds." Now I could barely count up to 10 and she expected me to process what that meant. Now as a young child, I never quite understood the concept of socializing. But as I matured into my teenage years, those wisdom of those 3 words struck me like lightning. It was actually quite simple. Just like the gluiness and the elasticity of bubblegum, friendships and relationships tie individuals together emotionally, even though they are fluid and prone to change. Now, I'm sure we have all come across the phrase, "Humans are social animals." Well, Aristotle, an ancient Greek philosopher, believed that we thrive when we are in the presence and company of one another. Psychologists and sociologists agree that social life is one of the most important factors on our mental and social health. Now, the formation of social groups is an all-time classic. Since the Stone Age, primitive tribes have formed close-knit communities where they relied on each other's skills for hunting, gathering, and protection. But over time, these social groups have evolved so much that it has now become a quest to find the one where you truly belong. The fire burning within us to fit in and be accepted by the people around us has shown the humans' innate tendency as social animals. Now, it is hardly worth mentioning the 8.1 billion other people on this planet. Then why is it so hard for us to connect? Why is it so hard for us to pop our bubbles of seclusion and come out? Or are there external factors that have strengthened its hold over us? Well, these factors are known as group dynamics. Group dynamics are the ways in which people within a group interact with each other. They are characterized by numerous features like communication patterns, leadership, power, societal influence, and even consolidation. Now, as a teenage girl of 15 years, I can confidently say I have not always been accepted by the people around me. But that's okay, because my social media life on various platforms has actually influenced the way I behave and has forced me to live in a parallel universe where I assumed that my individual reality should be the same as everybody else's. Now, this completely shattered my legitimacy and uniqueness. I completely changed the way I dressed, the way I spoke, the food I ate, and even the pictures I posted, just so that I could portray myself to their standards. But for what? What is it that these people, whom I sought to seek validation from, achieved through strengthening these bubbles of seclusion? The answer is quite simple, actually. Seclusion is a powerful tool, and it is used by people to assert dominance and claim supremacy. And this can be done by asserting power, authority, and controlling information. Now, one of my favorite authors, Robert Greene, in his book 48 Laws of Power, highlights the dangers of isolation and how human tendencies need relationships and social connections. Being secluded can leave individuals at a risk of deception and manipulation, and it can even leave them vulnerable. Now, according to the health institutes, extensive research on the neurobiology of human social behavior has shown the one particular aspect, that is aggression. John Connolly, a British alienist of the mid-1800s, claimed that it was possible to treat psychiatric patients without the use of mechanical restraints. But he made liberal use of seclusion that had an adverse effect on individuals to a fatal extent. Now, another survey conducted by the Kaiser Family Foundation revealed that 22% of individuals often feel excluded, isolated, or left out from social chats, which has led to depression. In addition, it also has high risk of heart diseases, type 2 diabetes, and anxiety. In some cases, socially isolated children have experienced and exhibit lower IQ. Now, a few imaging studies have linked loneliness to poorer cognitive outcomes in the brain. The primary pathway linking poorer cognitive outcomes to isolation and seclusion is the HPA axis. Now, in the past 2 years, I have come across numerous teens who feel fraudulent and doubtful of their actions, even despite achieving highly in other aspects and fields. This is known as imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome is characterized by the need and by the fear of exposure and rejection, especially in social settings where achievement is closely related to belonging and acceptance. Now, overcoming this sea of doubt is not easy, which is why it is crucial that one must be equipped with the right ways and strategies to overcome the same. I now share with you party. The P in party stands for playful listening. Playful listening is basically saying that we must be attentive and be present when we talk to people. Conversations can be a blast if we are actively present and listening. Now, the A in party stands for all-inclusive mischief. I think it's time we expand our social circles, make them more diverse and more inclusive. The more the merrier, right? R stands for ridiculously open-minded. It's time to embrace the weird, the quirky, and the unconventional. Why must we deem somebody as unusual, weird, or cringe just because their behavior and actions are slightly different from ours? The T in party stands for totally odd. Each and every one of us out there is unique. Finally, the Y in party stands for yes and. Say yes to new experiences, ideas, and perspectives. It can't hurt to open up your ears to somebody. Now, my journey through life is enriched by the relationships I keep with people and the relationships and bonds that I have formed with my friends. I was able to come out of my bubble without feeling prejudice from others. How? Well, for me, it was all about the mindset. I strongly believe in the power of humanity, and I trust that each and every one of you out there can embrace one another and help break down these barriers. Thank you.